Hello again, this is John Lundquist, Talent Academy, and this is our last lesson on Unit 2, solving equations. This is a long Unit 8 worksheets for 2 review tests and 2 tests. So, but algebra is mainly solving equations, so you gotta learn how to do that. So, this is on solving percentage equations. Or problems, actually, solving percentage word problems, and then equation, making the word problem into a proportion, really, is what we're going to do. So, first of all, I want to talk about fraction, decimal, and percent, the 3 ways we think about a number. Usually, whole numbers we think about as decimals. Less than 1 we think about as either a fraction. Usually we put it in terms of fraction, or if we want to take, like, store values, like like a 20% off sale, or you get 15% off if you buy something within 5 days or something, or pay it off early. So we in money we use decimals. I mean, $2.75 is $2.75, or we'll say $2.75 over 100, because there's 100 pennies in a dollar. So we say $2.75. Well, actually we say 2.75 dollars is what we say. I mean, if you didn't have well, actually put the dollar sign on there. So just want to convert between these. Make sure you know how to convert between all 3 of them. So 3/4 is the same as 0.75. Now the way we get 3/4 to be 0.75 is we just divide, and we divide 3 by 4. And a lot of the long divisions, long gone. Nobody knows how to use that anymore, except those old farts. I mean, old people. Sorry. So the 4 goes in. You put a decimal point down, then you put zeros, place values, and you just start dividing the 4 into this thing. Well, it doesn't go into the 3, but it goes into 30, and it goes in 7 times. 7 times 4 is 28. Subtract that, you get 2. So that's the remainder. You bring down a 0. Oh, we got 5. 5 times 4 is 20. 0 remainder. I'm done then. So notice you get, and this is 75/100. And 75/100 reduces to 3/4, because if I divide 75 by 25 and 100 by 25, I get reduced down to 3/4. Now, the percentage is just, all they're doing is trying to get rid of the decimal point. The decimal point is a big bother to, like, retailers and stuff, and store people. So instead of saying it's 75/100 off the sales price, off the regular price, they say 75% off, or 25%. And that's probably not 75. You probably wouldn't even get a 75. Well, maybe you get 75% off. It was a closeout or something. So let's go 25% off something, pants or whatever. Well, they'd rather say that. They'd rather say 25% off than 25/100 off. I mean, it's too complicated. Or and then this, if they use 0.25, they say, you still have to say 25/100, or you wouldn't say 0.25 off. It doesn't make any sense. So they made this percentage. So basically, all you have to do then to make a percent is you take 0.25, multiply it by 100, and add a percent sign. So you multiply this by 100, or you move the decimal point over twice, you add a percent sign. That's how you do it. Okay. Enough said of that one. Boy, time goes by quick when you're having fun. Okay, so I want to convert 0.35, and I'm not going to reduce. I'm just going to convert. So this, since the 0.35, this is in the tens place, this is in the hundreds place. So I use this guy, and I put this guy over this, the last place value. So there, this is 35 over 100. I can reduce if I wanted to. And what's the percent? Well, I multiply this by 100, and I get 35%. Okay, so what's 125%? Well, I'll make it a decimal. I divide this by 100. Dividing it by 100 moves the point over twice. Here's the point. And then, well, I just did with the fraction. It's 125 over 100. Well, if you want to make a mixed fraction out of it, 100 goes into 125 once with 25 remainder. So you could say 1 and 25 hundredths, or 125 hundredths, or 1 and 25 hundredths. 7/8, well, I'm going to take out the calculator and do that. So you just take your calculator and you turn it on and you go 7 divided by 8, and you hit 0.875. Okay, so that's 0.875, and then you multiply this by 100 to get a percent. 87.5. There you go. Oh, percent. Yeah, so this is a point right there. That's how you convert. Okay, so quickly we're going to do these problems. So when you have to know about these problems is that percent means divided by 100. So 25% is 25 divided by 100, or 25 over 100. So they make it a fraction. You don't do any calculations with percentages. You have to change it either to a decimal or a fraction. And I'm going to make them fractions in this exercise. Now, of means multiply. Every time you see of, that means a multiply, and every time you see is, that means equal to. So, what percent? What percent? Well, that's x over 100, because I don't know what it is, but I know what percent means is over 100. And of means multiply. And 29 is 29, and is means equal to. And 7. So, remember we just did solving proportions? Well, this really looks like a proportion, doesn't it? So, what if I divided both sides by 29? If I divide both sides by 29, this is get divided by 29. This goes to 1, right? This essentially goes bye-bye. Now I got a straight proportion. So I got 7 times 100 divided by 29. So I take out my calculator and I go 7 times 100 divided by 29. I think it was 29. And I get 24 point, and we'll round to the first, well, since it's, yeah, we'll round to the first tenth. So 24.1. So we get 24.1%. And notice it's the numbers, I don't have to change, since this is over 100 already, I don't have to change it. There's other ways of doing this, but I like this way best. Okay, let's do this one. 35%, 35 over 100, right? Of means multiply. 75 is what? Well, this I don't even have to, I already got x on the side, so I just multiply 35 times 75 divided by 100. So I'm going to take this over here. So 35 times 75 divided by 100. And I get 26.25. So x is 26.25. Okay, 120 minutes is, so 120 minutes is 75%, 75 over 100 of what? Of what? What is x, right? I should have put down what means is equal to x, or whatever I'm looking for. I should write that x like an x. So, okay, make that an x, worthy of an x. Okay, so I'm going to take this x here and divide both sides by x. And that goes away. The x is x'd out. Now I got to cross multiply divide, or cross multiply. And so if I take out my calculator, I clear this out, and I get 120 times 100, 120 times 100 divided by 75. And I get 160. So 160. That's the number, x. Okay, what percent of, so what percent is x over 100 of 160 is 45. So I'm going to divide both sides by 160. That goes away. I know this, I'm a really terrible writer. It's supposed to be 160, so I got 100 times 45 divided by 160. Okay, so I got 100 times 45 divided by 160. That's equal to 28.125. 28.1. Let's go. 28.1. Okay. Last one. I know I'm going overtime on this. Last one is what is, so I'm going to go what, I don't know what it is equal to 45% of 300. Well, here we got this straight old multiplying, across and divide. So I go 45 times 300. And you know, I could make 45 divided by 100 multiplied by 300 divided by 100. And I get 135. 135. And that's a little over time, but I think it was good. Well, I hope it was good.